This is gonna be how you save energy and lower that heart rate. Trust me on this, those push-offs are killing you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly if you're new, and today I'm telling you how to lower that heart rate so that we can run for longer without stopping. I know there's a lot of us trying to train in different heart rate zones, and it's a great method if you can actually access the different heart rate zones. A lot of us go out at one speed every single time, and sometimes we have good days and sometimes we have horrible days. So I'm gonna cover all that. I promise you these tips I'm giving you will work immediately and help you feel a little bit more calm on your next run. So our heart rate basically tells us how hard our body is working to produce output. So we go for a workout, however hard our body is working is gonna be reflected in that heart rate number. Even if you don't have a heart rate monitor or a watch or anything to see that number, you have a good sense of when your heart rate is high because you feel very panicked, out of breath. It feels like every step is a lot of labor to get there, and it almost makes you feel like you're having a little bit of anxiety, sometimes a panic attack. So even if you don't have the actual metric for yourself, you can usually tell when your heart rate is high. I also want to include that heart rate is affected by many other factors in our lives. Medications we're on, how much sleep we're getting, our diet, stress in our daily lives, all these things can have an effect on it. So it's not just fitness related or, effort from a run related. There's other things going on. So I want to be clear about that. And if you want more info on the heart rate stuff, I did a full video on that, which I'm going to link right here. And finally, for the purposes of this video, guys, I'm going to consider anything over 200 a high heart rate for a steady state run. So if you're going out for a medium or easy effort run, just like kind of your normal workout, you're not gonna go to the track and do a bunch of sprints. Staying over 200 the whole time is kind of what I'm trying to fight in this video. We're gonna get that down with these tips. Tip number one, guys, we have to get comfortable going slower. I know this is the hardest part, but if we can nail this, everything's gonna get easier from here. Traditionally, when you guys start running, you'll head out the door at one speed, one effort level. That's what feels natural and comfortable. Anything different from that feels really odd. But if we can slow things down a little bit to let your body catch up fitness-wise, you're gonna be able to build on that base and eventually go faster and for longer. So trust me on this, I'm gonna show you how to do it today. If you feel like you're very inconsistent and the watch pace always looks the same, but some days feel amazing and some days feel horrible, this is a good sign you are going out too fast and we need to find that base level here. So I'm gonna show you the mechanics of how to go slower, covering less ground, but making it feel comfortable. I'm gonna reiterate that point again. Speed when it comes to running, we're talking about how much ground you're covering in that period of time. Less ground covered means slower, more obviously means faster. And I just say this to remind you that how fast we're picking up our feet has nothing to do with this. We can pick up our feet quickly and cover less ground, okay? So we'll get started right here in place. If you already did this with me in the cadence video, I'm switching it up a little bit, so go ahead and practice again with me here so it really, really makes sense. We're gonna start with just a nice high knee in place. Easy pickup, but bringing that knee as high as you can up to the chest, just like this. Good. Now I want you to do just half the size of that, but we're still lifting the knee up. So just about there. Perfect. Good. You might start to feel your hip flexor turn on, maybe a little pull or yank. Good. And drop it. And now we're going to go to that butt kick all the way up. Heel hits the butt and down. Nice job. Just bring that foot right under the hip. Perfect. Good. From here, half the size on that. So just a mini little butt kick here, just engaging the hamstring. Perfect. What we're gonna do is blend these two worlds together to give us the best of both. So we're gonna have that pickup happening, but also the hamstring to assist. These are nice big muscles that are meant to pick our feet up, right? No push off. We're not talking about any sort of push off for the run just yet. So let's find a medium here. So we're gonna bring a number 4 up and keep it pretty small here. So a mix of the knee coming up and the heel coming to the butt. So right up and down, just like this. Perfect. Just kind of slamming right under the hip there. Mid-foot strike, perfect. Good. Quickly, we'll run through the other side so you can feel even now. We're gonna bring that knee up and down. Perfect. Great. One more. We'll go half the distance up, so just that mini high knee. Perfect. Nothing's tilting in my hips. I'm just staying upright. Good. And now we go to that butt kick. So full all the way up heel to the butt. Again, keeping those abs on, not dumping out like this. Perfect. And then a mini version of that, just like that. Perfect. Good. Now we're going to combine the two and we're going to bring up a number 4, but not too high. So knee comes up, but we're also engaging the hamstring. Good. One more. Awesome. Okay. These are generally the mechanics of how we're picking our feet up. We're gonna get used to doing this at a high rate. So let me show you how to bring this into an actual run in place. So we've got that number 4, that mini number 4 kind of in our heads, we understand it, right? Just take a small jog right here in place, nice and easy. One thing that feels uncomfortable about jogging in place, you're already gonna feel right here, is that you're not pushing off to go anywhere. Now, what you're probably used to doing when you go run is actually pushing off with each step. That's how you're covering ground, right? That's how you're building that speed, and you feel like you're running if you're pushing off. I am gonna get you guys comfortable with not really pushing off and rather picking the feet up in small steps and using your hips to drive you forward. This is gonna be how you save energy and lower that heart rate. Trust me on this, those push-offs are killing you. They are spiking that heart rate, making it hard to breathe. So easy jog right here. Let's start to bring in just a couple on your own time. That number 4 coming up. Might feel like you're prancing, right? You wanna land on the one leg to bring the other one up. Maybe that will help to visualize it this way, but it's easy pickups right here. Whatever you can do to bring the knee up, but also engage the hamstring, right? Let's make that even smaller. Loose shoulders. If I want to bring this forward, I can, and I'm doing that by only thinking of my hips. Think I'm pushing myself from behind for my hips, and then I come forward with this run, okay? But I can also do it in place. What you cannot do in place is the way you've likely been running, which is a bit more of a reach and step, reach and step. What we're sold in the running stores when we're buying shoes is, do you strike with your heel? Do you stay on your toes? I want to get us away from that and think, if our steps are small enough, we are driving everything from the hips. We're not depending on how our foot hits the ground. That is the last piece of the puzzle, right? So just practice one more time, guys. A little jog here. And I can just pretend I'm pushing from behind and bring myself forward. Now, the cadence, as we discussed in that video a couple weeks ago, is how many steps you're taking per minute. I'm not gonna go deep dive on this today, but the more steps we take, the less time we're landing for. Again, the less we have to push from at all. So it's just less effort all around. The higher this is, quick pickup, right down, quick pickup, right down. We have very little energy to give to this. Keeping this high with a lot of steps doesn't really affect our heart rate as much as we think it does. We think that the higher the cadence, the higher the speed, the higher the effort. That's not true. In fact, if I keep this high, I'm able to make less impact on my body, less stress across the time, and I can do more runs in a week without feeling that on my body. So trust me on this, it really is important to find a way to create small steps under the hips, and then we relax and take that forward. I can go slow or fast, covering more or less ground, but I'm gonna choose to cover less ground, staying a bit more upright, and getting comfortable like this. This really is gonna be the way that you feel like you're running faster, but you're running slower, thus bringing that heart rate down. Tip number 2, we've gotta bridge the gap between walking and running. You guys know I'm the biggest fan of run-walk workouts, especially in the beginning stages. This is what allows you to stay out there and finally fall in love with running. I hate the idea that we think it only counts as a run if we run the whole time. That's just not the truth, right? But we can use the walking to our advantage to build our aerobic base and once again bring that heart rate down, right? When you guys go do a run walk workout, I don't want you using the walks as just total break where you just go off completely and you're not working at all anymore, right? I don't want it to just be spikes of the run and then total nothing on the walk. We need to find a way to up the speed on the walk and then again, lower that speed on the run, which we just went over how to do that. So if we can do these things together, eventually you find this average heart rate. The whole thing really feels like its own full solid workout. You don't really feel those spikes as much anymore. When you're going out and you're like sprinting on the run and then totally off on the walk, your body reads that as an interval workout. Those spikes are, intense and they're stressful on the body, right? If you're only going out and running that way and there's no steady zone 2 of any kind going on relative to that heart rate training scale, you are not building the aerobic base. You're never going to be able to get more fit in the sport of running. So we have to find a way to make a medium workout possible for you. And this is gonna be from a faster walk during your walk breaks and a slower run. So doing that together will allow you guys to find a much more steady way of moving, eventually feeling like you don't even need the walk breaks at all. If you can walk a little bit faster, just a hair faster during those walk breaks, and you can use a similar mechanism to how we did in the run, shorter steps, just nice and quick, using the hips to push forward, maybe a little extra arm swing. This will increase the heart rate relative to your normal walk breaks, but it will also just build on your fitness in a way that does feel like you could sustain it. It's not so crazy, right? You're still getting that breakdown from the run, but we can find a little bit of a gradual one, and not so up, down, up, down. Before I give you guys this third and final tip, I do want to mention, just as your coach, some things you can do in your life that will make this process smoother. You will be more fit if you get more out of these workouts, which you can do by fueling yourself properly. Whole foods that aren't a lot of stress on the body to digest, that keep the blood sugar nice and stable, it's not spiking and dropping, that will give you your best output in your workouts as well. You're just gonna feel better. And when you eat this way and when you fuel yourself properly and timed well, you're also gonna just rest easier, get more out of that rest, and then again, hit the next day hard. So small changes in your life just around this whole, fitness goal will make it all move quickly, and you'll see the difference. If you don't eat well right now, you'll notice that just making some small changes there and eating things that fill you up and fuel you for the whole workout will allow you to feel like a better athlete. This really wouldn't be complete if I didn't give you my favorite secret tip on how to breathe easier. This is really going to be the ticket to lowering that heart rate and making you last much longer out there on that next workout. If we can get more oxygen in per breath, we are going to calm the nervous system down. We all know that feeling. You're in control at the beginning of your workout and suddenly something flips and now you're being dragged along. Every step feels like labor. You're in this panic, almost anxiety attack sometimes, wondering if you can even get another breath in. I'm going to fix that for you right here. Very, very simple breathing technique that you can literally use on your next workout. Put one hand on the stomach for me, one on the chest, and we're just going to practice this deep method of breathing. Closing the mouth here, we're just going to go big inhale through only the nose. You're going to feel your chest rise and your belly expand. That diaphragm's filling up here. Here we go. And then exhale normally through the mouth. We're going to go one more time. Big inhale through the nose, fill everything up. And exhale. And relax. You can already feel the calmness setting in. This legitimately calms your nervous system, and it will do the same in your run. Next time you're having a panic attack mid-run, this is going to solve that, right? Additionally, getting oxygen into the body with more oxygen per breath is going to take that burn away from the legs, and it's going to allow you to balance out the levels of carbon dioxide and oxygen. I'm not going to go all science mode on you today, but I want you to understand that when that's more balanced, you can exert yourself for longer. What I want you guys to do, very simple, on your next workout, run, walk, or run, you're gonna go every 5 minutes, 3 of those nose-only inhales, right? That's it, 3 breaths every 5 minutes. If you have to space these out and you can't do all 3 in a row, that is completely fine. Maybe you do 1, go back to mouth open, just normal breathing, get your second one in, then your third, all within maybe like a minute. If you are absolute beginner, I want you guys to only practice this during your walk breaks, which of course we're gonna add that speed a little bit to the walk, but you're gonna practice it only on the walks and eventually work them into the runs. Soon, guys, you will see this as your biggest asset, your biggest tool. When you are running and exerting yourself, you now know how to pick up your feet with less effort and move forward with less effort. And now you can add this breathing technique in to rein it all in, get that oxygen in so your body is calmer and the heart rate is lower, which again allows you to run for longer. And you are just going to feel more and more like an athlete every single day. The first couple times you try that type of breathing, either at a fast walk or in the middle of that run, you're gonna feel like you're drowning at the very beginning. You are, but stay with it. I promise you, it will seriously get easier very soon, but you have to get through that little hump at the beginning. That's why I said space the breaths out if you need to, but that is normal to feel like really panicked in the beginning of trying that, but it's immediately gonna start to work for you, so trust me. Guys, I think we know that the real trick to running for longer and keeping that heart rate down is to just be more fit. And I'm happy to tell you that with these tips I gave you today, you are going to gain fitness with every single run you now go out and do. It's gonna build on itself so quickly. You are gonna feel like running is so easy pretty soon. Might even train for a race one day, who knows? Let me know if we need a part 2, as always. And if you do end up training for a race, remember that I have training plans and they're gonna be linked down in the description below. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.